Hey guys, it's me, Mike, and welcome back to Unbox Warehouse. Today we're looking at the PowerEgg X. This is one of the craziest drones that we've ever reviewed here on this channel. And yes, this is a drone, but it has multiple configurations. This is like the handheld camcorder edition, but we do have a tripod mount on one side. So this has some advanced AI tracking features you can use with this camcorder. I first saw the PowerEgg X when I was at CES in Vegas back in January before this whole crazy pandemic started. And they had this thing flying in the rain. They had built a huge booth with rain pouring and this thing was hovering. These snap on the side of it and it was just gorgeous. Look at that. It's unbelievable. It had a crowd around it. It stopped everybody in their tracks. So I finally got one. I've had it for a couple months. I've been using it and we're gonna go through all the features and tell you what we think about it. Okay, so the first configuration we're gonna check out the PowerEgg X in is in this. I have it hooked to a tripod, but I'll also do some handheld stuff with it and show you how well that gimbal can take out bounces and stuff. Then we're gonna go into standard drone mode. We're gonna slap these dudes on there. It just takes a second. We'll show you how to do that. We're gonna take this thing out somewhere where there's no interference because I want to see how far it can go. It's supposed to go like 3.7 miles. So we're going to see how far we can take it. It's a really fast drone. It can travel up to 40 miles an hour. And then we'll go through some of the features. We'll make sure it returns to home good. If it loses connection, we'll do the orbit and the droney. They got different names for them with the PowerEgg, but it's all the same kind of shots. Really cool tracking shots. Last but not least, we're going to take this thing and put on this waterproof kit. It's got 2 floats and this waterproof shell that allows you to fly this thing in the rain. And it's not raining today, it's a beautiful day, but there is a fountain over here in a lake, big fountain, and it's really cool. And I'm thinking I'm gonna try to fly this thing through the spray of the fountain and hopefully it doesn't crash, but it'll be a good video. That'll be towards the end. Let's get started. When the PowerEgg X is set up like a camcorder, it only weighs 1.2 pounds. Set it up like a drone, it only goes up to 1.9 pounds. Pretty light. And like I said, it can reach speeds of 40 miles an hour and has a range of 3.7 miles. It captures video using its 1/2.8-inch sensor at 12 megapixels. It does this through a 27mm lens at f1.8 with a field of view of 78.4 degrees. It can focus from infinity all the way down to 1 meter. This is great when using it in camcorder mode. ISO can be adjusted between 100 all the way up to 3200 for video and all the way up to 6400 for photos. It's capable of 4K at 60 frames per second, full HD at 120 frames a second, and standard HD at an unbelievable 240 frames a second. And it records all that on a micro SD card up to 128 gigs as long as it's rated for 4K. It uses a 3800 milliamp hour 11.4 volt LiPo battery that can keep it in the air for up to 30 minutes or run the camcorder mode for around 3.5 hours. Okay, so right now I have the PowerEgg X set up on a tripod, well actually a light stand, but it does have a 1/4 thread on the mount, so you can put it on pretty much anything with a standard tripod mount. I got it up about eye level, and right now it's not tracking me, and I am recording the audio separately. It can record the audio from your phone and sync it up, but I found it sometimes it's a little off and it doesn't, the microphones on the phone just don't sound that great, especially out here in this windy condition. So I am recording the audio separately and syncing up in post. There, got it to work. So you put your hand up like that and it will start tracking you. Now, you'll notice that it's tracking me really well, keeping me in frame. If I go way back, it's lowering down. Really good tracking here. If you were in a classroom environment talking to a big board, it could follow you around. Gets really nice audio, squat down. So the tracking does work, super easy, but I don't want to spend too much time with this as a camcorder because ultimately it is a drone. So I want to show the drone features. This is going to be a long video anyways, and I can't wait to get to that lake and fly this thing through those fountains. Hopefully I don't crash it, but stay tuned to the end and you'll see that. But let's put it in handheld mode, get some good B-roll footage of downtown Jacksonville on the Riverwalk, and then head on to the next thing. Okay, so here we are out here in the middle of nowhere. We're gonna do a couple tests out here. First off, we're gonna do a distance test. We're gonna see how far it can go. Now the rating, like we went over in the specs, is 3.7 miles. A lot of times they don't make it that far, but I tried to get away from any interference from electrical power lines and stuff to see if we can get a true distance test. So we're gonna do that. Then we're gonna go over a couple of the modes in here and try to see how well it tracks and go through some of the orbiting features and some of the pre-programmed shots. So first off, let's get this thing powered up, get it in there, and we're gonna do a distance test into the wind. That's always smartest. For battery purposes, you always know you can make it back. So the wind's coming at me right here, so we're gonna go that way as far as possible. Let's get it in the air. Everything is normal in the screen. We have 100% aircraft battery level. Now, I put 4 rocks here in a little square. And the reason I did this is I wanted to record where it thinks home is at, and then we will do a return to home when we get coming back from this distance test and see how close it lands to this little marked area I have on the road here. So let's get it in the air. All right, so here we go. Sticks together, powers up the fans. Let's get it in the air. Now, look how gorgeous this thing hovers. It's really not that loud. And one of the great things is all of the props are kind of angled in a little bit. So it's almost like the moon lander, like the thrust of them is slightly angled out. So it creates a wider base of thrust and it gives it a really stable flight characteristics. You can see it is a little bit windy, but here we go. Let's do a distance test. And it's off. Okay, there's our 400-foot ceiling to stay compliant with the FAA, and we are at 1,800 feet away, and we're going about 42 feet a second. I'll calculate what that is in miles per hour and put it on the screen for you. Can't do that in my head. All right, we are 2,400 feet away. I still have full control. I can move the gimbal a little bit here. Horizon looks nice and flat. That's good. A little over 3,000 feet away. You can also switch here to map view and you can see the home point of where we took off and where the drone is right now on like a Google Maps interface. So this is really good when you're trying to return to home because you just basically fly back down this blue line and bring it right back home. All right, 4,000 foot away. Make sure my antennas are facing properly. Okay, it just vibrated at me a little bit. Device unconnected. So I have my first error at 4,000 feet. Okay, but it's reconnected now. Let's see if we can go a little further. It's definitely jittery right now. The gimbal's kind of bouncing around. So we're just under a mile and we're already getting some interference. Gimbal motors are in locked rotor state. Okay. Something has happened with the gimbal, but it's bouncing around a little bit. Something's going on with the gimbal. So we're at about a mile. Let's bring her home because something's going on. So basically, I can just fly this thing, we're about a mile away, fly this thing back down the blue line and bring it home and see if there's something going on with the gimbal. But we made it just under a mile before I started getting some interference and something happened with the gimbal. You can see the gimbal's kind of jumping around. Now it's pointed up. I still do have gimbal control. We still have 75% battery on the drone and we're coming back. I can see the road we're on, so I can probably start bringing it down. We're still up at 400 feet. Okay, we're close enough now. I'm gonna initiate a return to home. So there is a button right here. I can just hold this down and initiate a return to home. So we just initiated return to home, and we're gonna try to see how close it lands to our little square here, landing pad. Right now it's still 1,800 feet away. 800 feet away, I see it coming. All right, there it is. It's almost directly overhead. And, oh, it put the brakes on, that's good. It's spun around. And it's coming down. Where do you think it's gonna land? I think it's gonna land over here. I don't know, it's pretty close. I'm not even gonna touch it for the landing. Oh, it was right there. It literally landed 1 foot away. That is very impressive. Awesome. Now let me see if there's something going on with the gimbal. It seems to be functioning fine. I don't know why it did that, but I was only able to get about a mile before I lost signal. That's way less than the 3.7 miles advertised. I don't know. I think I'm out here far enough away from any electrical interference. It should have gone further than that, but that's what I got in my test, about a mile range. It's plenty far for everything you need, but it does fall short of the 3.7 miles that the specs call out on the website. So next thing we're gonna do is get this thing in the air and try some tracking features and some drone-y shots and orbits and see how it does. All right, now we're gonna do some of the features. I'm gonna get this thing in the air real quick, and we're gonna click this little AI button here. There it goes, woo, that thing's got some power. Let's just get it over here and see if we can do some tracking shots. So I can see myself right here in the screen, the drone's right there. I hit AI, I can do AI track, and first thing we'll do is a trace. And I can select myself. Now it's tracking me. I'm gonna go ahead and set this down. So now the drone should track me. It's just visual right now, so I don't even have the controller with me, and it's following. So even if I took off for a little run here, you should be able to get some nice footage. All right, so now I'm gonna walk back towards it and we'll see how it repositions. So I'm going under it. It's backed up. It's over on my right side behind me, but I think it should be able to get some real nice cinematic footage. All right, so the next tracking feature we'll try, we'll exit the AI track. Then there's other ones like parallel, where it stays sideways with you, but what I want to do is some of these really cool features like quick shots. Now we have a droney, a circle, a helix, a rocket, and a ellipse. So a droney is where it shoots out and then comes back, but I want to try circle because I think those look really cool when someone's like jogging and it's circling them. So we'll click circle, make sure that you have nothing around or the drone is higher than the nearest obstacle. We're gonna go clockwise here and click start. All right, so it's now circling above my head. I'll put the controller down. Now let's go for a quick little walk. You can probably see Josh, the cameraman. Let's see what kind of droney we can do. Those are everybody's favorite. All right, it's tracking me, and here we go. 3, 2, 1. This is the rules, drone rules. You're supposed to wave at the drone as it's going away from you in the droney shot. And Josh is waving. All right, and when it finishes the shot, these are called one shots. So they do their shot, they automatically record, then they come back. This droney doesn't come back down the same path it went up at. This droney comes back at one altitude and then comes back down and puts itself back in position. All right, we also have a really cool one is the Helix. This is one where it circles you and gets bigger. All right, so Helix and push play. Oh, I gotta select a subject. Scroll down, there I am, select me. And push play.
2, 1.
Now this is gonna circle us as it's getting higher and further away.
3, 2, 1.
And there it goes. This is a great way to reveal your environment as the drone is getting further away, and you can kind of slowly reveal what kind of place you're at. You know, maybe you're in a place a little prettier than a field like this, but I think it's pretty. I like the country. There it goes, it's up super high now. And it says it's captured it and it's returned to its home. So it's gonna come back down and set itself over there. Let me walk forward a little bit, I'll get you on the screen here. We will track you and push play. Now it's on you. Okay, we're activated. And it's going. Now, I'm gonna try to pass behind you and see if it loses. Let me block you real quick. Oh, it got close. Let's see how low we can get it. So it won't go any lower than that. But I'm trying to trick it to see if it'll switch. It's still tracking you, Josh. It doesn't seem to have a problem. Oh, got it to switch. So if you completely walk in front of someone, it can switch. Let me go behind him. Look at that. Passing the buck. Boom, it's on me. So you can, look, it just works every time. It switches. That's pretty cool though. So obviously, it's not smart enough to know the difference between like a white hat and a black hat, yeah, or shirts, different color shirts. But as long as, you know, if I was a little further away, it's not gonna lose tracking. So, oh, it did. Okay. So be careful and be mindful when you got multiple people in the shot and you're doing visual tracking, because it can switch subjects. All right, we have 25% battery left. Let's see what else is in here real quick. We have a point of interest shot. These are kind of cool. Basically, for a point of interest, you would go over something like this, like the truck. Angle the camera straight down, fly straight over the truck. All right, so this is gonna be our point of interest. And what we'll do is we'll go up here, point of interest, and now it says, you wanna set the point of interest. So now the truck is the point of interest. Now, you're gonna fly away to the angle you want, like there's the truck, and push start. And it's gonna start a point of interest shot. So now, if there was a building there or something, we use the truck, but if there was a building, it would just do a nice circle, keeping that point of interest right in the center of the screen. So these are all the standard normal drone features, and everything seems to be working, you know, accurately. Now I did get a warning for low battery, so we're gonna run it till it actually just goes and lands itself over there by those rocks again. Let it pretend you just weren't paying attention to the battery indicator. We're gonna let it go. See what happens, how close it can land to our landing pad. Then we're gonna go and take this thing, put the water kit that comes, the waterproof kit that comes in the Wizard edition, and we're gonna go try to fly this thing right through some fountains that are near my house. But Other than that, the battery life is strong. I wasn't able to quite get the distance out of it that I wanted, but a mile's pretty good. It's a good drone. All right, we have 17% left. Man, I can't wait to, I'm really excited about flying this in the fountain. This could go really bad or be completely awesome, but we're gonna put the little floats on it, and then I'm gonna try to fly it right through the spray of the water. You can raise the speed up here. Whoa, now it's going fast, look at that. Oh, I exited the point of interest. Man, that was cool. Oh, okay, that time it landed about 20 feet away from our landing pad, but we did a lot of stuff. Maybe it was because it was emergency landing, it was off a little bit more. The first time it was a foot away from the landing pad. I never touched it. I did power it back on right over there where we landed it the last time, and this time it landed about 20 feet, I'd say. Let's see. Yep, here it is. That's probably 20 feet. So let's go get a new battery in this thing and hit the lake. All right, here we are. We finally made it to the best part of the video. This is where the PowerEgg X really shines. I'm gonna fly it through these fountains, but before we do that, I'm gonna try some water takeoff and landings. We have the PowerEgg X all dressed up for a day at the beach. It's got its rain gear on. It's supposed to lose a little bit of performance. Obviously, it's not as aerodynamic with these big floaties on here. And if you get water on this, you're gonna see the water in the screen. So that won't be ideal. So I'm gonna try to avoid the fountains till right at the end before we go flying it through there, because who knows? This thing may be its last flight. I don't know. This is the first time I'm gonna do this. So let's get this thing in the air and see how it does. Okay, now the PowerEgg is connected, but notice it has a waterproof setting here. So we'll go ahead and click waterproof, navigation system abnormalities. So it's probably still trying to find some GPSs. Let's give it just a second. Got an ant on there. Man, it is super hot here in Florida right now. This is gonna be fun. We do have some harsh light because the sun's coming down over the horizon. It's about 7:30 right now, but this is gonna be gorgeous going through this water. Just waiting on the navigation system to level out here and tell us we can fly. All right, now everything is in the normal. We have 13 satellites. Let's push record on the drone. So it is recording now. Now you do lose all the functionality of those automated shots like we just showed you. You gotta fly this manually when you're in this because the sensors don't work, the ultrasonic sensors don't work, so you really gotta fly it, but that's no problem. It's not that hard. Here we go. All right. And it is flying. It is trying to drift just a little bit, and you can tell that the wind is affecting this a little with these floats on there. But first thing I'm gonna do is I just wanna land this dude in the water right here, a quick test. And it's down in the water. Now we'll do a quick water launch. Easy as that. That is so much fun. All right, that gives you a whole lot of confidence flying over water. When you know if it goes down, it's just gonna float to the side. We're in a small pond here, and if it went down, the wind would carry it over to the side. So here we are. I got a nice screen. There's no moisture on the screen right now, so it looks really good. Let me just do a little quick circle around the fountain here. Oh, that's so cool. It's so nice to be able to get a shot like this and not worry about actually getting in the water. Let's see if I can go get a top. Oh yeah, that's fun. It's like a pontoon plane, yeah. I wonder if you can like skid it in for a landing. Oh, look at that. It was like a skid shot. Now, let's do the thing we've all been waiting for, and let's fly this thing straight through that fountain there. This is a little nerve-wracking. Now, I can't go right where the water's shooting up. That'll just knock it out of the sky. I'm gonna try to go right through here and full speed ahead. Oh, it knocked it down a little bit, but it went right through there. Look, it is right in the fountain. That is crazy. I can hear, look at that, look on the screen, this is wild. Oh no! The water pushed it down. Let's see if we can relaunch. And it's up again. The water knocked it down and I was able to relaunch it. Look at it soaking wet. It is just crazy to see this drone covered in water. Let's see if I can bring this thing in for another skid landing. This would be like a downpour. Oh, I'm in it right there. That is so cool. All right, let's bring it in. I think we've tested our luck enough with this fountain. It is so weird to see a drone just covered in water like that. That is super cool. All right, let me just land it right here on this grass. Man, that is so much fun. And I mean, it's very innovative. So this thing has been a camcorder, a regular drone, and now a waterproof drone. So they have packed a whole lot of features into this thing. Let's take it apart, go back to the studio, and give some final thoughts on the PowerEgg X.
So the PowerEgg X has a lot of tricks up its sleeve. And like most multifunctional devices, it's not perfect, but PowerVision has put a lot of thought into creating a product that can handle almost any situation. It's a one-stop shop for all your filming needs. Other than the results of the range test, the PowerEgg X can handle filming land, sea, and air. So for $900 for the drone and $1,250 for the Wizard kit that comes with an extra battery and all the waterproof accessories, it really packs a ton of value for a competitive price.
All right, guys, that is the PowerEgg X. This was like a 30-minute video. If you're still here, wow, what are you doing with your life? But it just does so much. It's like 3 things in one. So this is like 3 videos. I'll put a link in the description to the PowerEgg X if you're interested in getting one for yourself. Also, there's links to everything I use to film these videos here at Unbox Warehouse. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. You can check out more videos right here. You know the routine. Now get out of here because you've watched too much YouTube today. Unless you're gonna watch more Unbox Warehouse, you know.